Welcome back to your soon-to-be favorite podcast. I'm Angelica.
And I'm Kelsey.
And this is
Here We Grow. What's up, besties?
Hello.
We're back.
How is everyone?
How is everyone? But also, this is episode 40. 40, guys.
You sounded like Miss Rachel for a second. This is episode 40. Can you say 40?
And then the pause.
Good. She has such a calming voice. I love her.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you say that and you never watch Miss Rachel.
Yes, I do now.
Oh, because of Adriel. Well, you were at my house and your sister and her kids were at my house and we were watching Miss Rachel and me and Maria sang the end of a song together. And Maria looks over and Angelica goes, "Y'all know nothing about that."
I don't, but I could.
Miss Rachel parents, y'all know.
Yeah, she's a good one.
Y'all know how it is.
She's a real one.
Her songs are, what's the word I'm looking for?
Top tier.
Contagious.
Oh.
Trying to get this untangled. That might be a little bit better. So in honor of 40 episodes, we're going to bring you 40 fun facts about us, but 20 from Angelica and 20 from me. No.
Honestly, the first time you mentioned, I was like, 40 from each of us? That's a lot.
That's way too much. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. We don't have enough time for that.
No.
This is going to be weird.
Are we doing one and one or
yeah?
All
I think
we
should do back and forth. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's gonna be really funny because mine are like in no particular order whatsoever.
Mine as well. Yeah, mine as well.
That's just so random.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mine are random too.
So we both kind of use like the same website that had the examples. So
it'll be interesting to see.
Similar, but not
yeah. And then I helped you finish yours off at the end. I was like, what about this, this, and this?
I actually didn't use any of those.
Oh, okay.
Sorry though.
Don't be mad. I mean, don't be mad.
Don't be mad.
I was just say I'm not mad.
Don't be snippy with me.
Don't be mad.
Don't be mad.
I was just trying to help.
Don't tell me how to feel.
Okay, so before we get started, we're gonna do a quote of the week,
right?
And then we're gonna play back a part of last week's episode. Do you still have the time like on your player?
Yeah, I probably do.
Okay,
I probably have it. Yeah.
Let me find a week of the quote. Words are not my friend today. Let me tell you. Let's see.
Yep. That's a good one.
Okay, here's one. It's short and simple. We don't have to explain it. It's very straightforward. So many people love you. Don't focus on the people who don't. Don't focus on the haters. those Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Okay, so last week was the Missing 411 episode. If you haven't watched it or listened to it, go back and watch or listen. We were talking about a case. There are multiple things that I found when I was listening back that I did not notice while we were recording, and I'm like, just back to back things that Angelica said. They were all you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
now
one.
I'm getting offended. Be like, wait. Oh yeah, no, that was me. That was me.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The first thing was we were talking about Drake. She meant to say spine, and she said spleen. That was funny, but I didn't notice it in the while we were talking about it. So we just kept talking, and I was like, "Yeah, spleen."
Yep, that's the one.
And then the second one was you said
I called Drake Josh.
Jake.
No, Jake.
Drake and Josh. She called Drake Jake. And I said, Jake from State Farm. And then there was a Drake from State Farm commercial during the Super Bowl, which we found out later was an old commercial, but it was just ironic. Still played it. Yeah.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just ironic that we made that joke and then he actually was Drake from State Farm. And then the one we're going to play back for you is I was talking about shards of bone that were found at the scene of the missing person, and Angelica thought I said "oh shards" because I said "of shards,"
but she doesn't enunciate the F.
And so
she said shards.
They'll see when they hear it.
Right.
So I didn't recognize that she said "oh shards," so I just explained to her what shards meant without correcting her.
Oh shards, and then she explains that they were pieces of bone.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay, well, I know what shards mean, and maybe oh shards is specific to bones. Like, okay.
So that part passes. We talk more about the case. We're theorizing what happened, and then she goes,
how they know that these are his remains.
And then she goes, "Yeah, they're oh shards." So we're gonna play it for you, both parts.
Oh.
Animals would have gotten to that closer. He finds near this area Bart's teeth.
My soul has left my body.
And a couple of shards of bone.
Oh, shards.
Like pieces of bone that had been broken. Like broken off of the original bone. Not his skeleton. So we just continue like
you
nothing.
You literally say, oh, shards. Oh, shards.
We'll let everybody listening be the judge. Like had been. So skip ahead a little bit. The predator, maybe, where the other shards of bone come from.
How do they know they were his bones?
I don't know.
They could be anyone's bones, really. They're just oh shards.
They could be anyone's, really. They're just oh shards. So serious. And that's what makes our podcast so good. When you mispronounce something and you're so sure of yourself.
But you didn't even say anything.
Nope. I didn't notice in the moment because we were so deep into this conversation that I didn't notice. And you know me, you guys, the listeners, you know me. If Angelica says something wrong, I will correct her. I did not notice any three of these. Well, that's two of the instances.
Oh, shards. What are oh shards?
Oh, Riley. Oh, shards.
I think it also goes to show that I won't question when you tell me something.
I'm like, yeah. You're just like, oh, okay.
You know,
she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she knows what she's talking about. It's fine.
You got it.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And I didn't notice it until I was listening to the final edit on my way to work before we released the episode. So, like, obviously I wouldn't have cut it out because it's hilarious, but even if I did want to cut it out, it's too late. We're going to publish it in like 30 minutes. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't tell you about it because I wanted to see your face, your reaction when I told you.
Well, that's us.
If you enjoy that kind of comedy, you're at the right place. Especially when we don't even know the joke is happening.
I'm telling you, like, I wonder if there are like people out there just listening and they're like, what? Dumbasses.
Yeah. But I think like that's my favorite kind of podcast is like people who are dumbasses. Like that's just my favorite kind of podcast. So.
Hey, we never like it's confirmed or said or have any kind of like
we never said we're smart people.
Yeah, we never said
we're professionals.
We're not professionals.
We never said we know everything.
Yeah,
we never said you should be taking our advice.
Nah.
Don't.
I mean, consider it, but like
yeah,
not our fault if it goes wrong.
Exactly. And we have that disclaimer in the episodes that they're relevant to. Okay, so should we get into 20 each facts about us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want to go first? While I find mine, because I can't find it.
Okay.
Here goes.
20 fun facts about Angelica.
Ooh. Wait, sorry. Just thought of something.
You know the Kardashians, every time they start a sentence, they'll be like, I like cereal.
Yeah, they do that long pause. Do that long pause.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be interesting to say that when we were originally talking about what things we were going to do before we put the vote up, Angelica said, like, it would be cool to do fun facts about us because it's been 40 episodes since our first episode, which was about us, like facts about us. And our third, I believe, was also facts about us, but
like our first times or something, which also kind of included.
Right. So it'd be interesting to do that again now for maybe listeners that haven't gone all the way back to the beginning, that are just now listening to us now, or to just add more facts, learn more about us.
Yeah, and we try to pick stuff that we hadn't already talked about on the podcast, which I might have talked about one or two things on here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to remember after 40 episodes.
Yeah, like I didn't put skydiving or like the time that I got burned. Like you guys already know that, or maybe some of you guys do, but okay. So number 1, my favorite TV show is How I Met Your Mother, and I hate the ending.
Why do you hate the ending?
Okay, so the show's called How I Met Your Mother, right?
Yeah.
So the whole the whole show, every season. I mean, obviously, not every show is like specific to finding Ted's wife.
Yeah.
But like that's the general.
Premise.
Yeah. And literally, like last season 9, I think the last 2 episodes, he finally meets her.
Yeah.
She dies of cancer. And he ends up with Robin anyway, which is who he should have ended up with anyway. Like, Robin should have been the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was no reason for this other lady to be included and for her to die. Like, why?
Angelica's distraught.
What was the point? I love that show.
I have a favorite show in mind too, but it's further down the list.
Okay.
All right. My first one is that I have multiple certifications. I'm a licensed pharmacy technician. I have a certification as an associate professional in human resources, and I'm an ordained minister, so I can marry people.
Nice. I think a lot of people really don't know that last part.
That I'm an ordained minister? I've actually married, I was going to come up with a number of couples that I forgot.
Wow, you've done that many?
I've done, I'd say maybe 15 couples.
You've married 15 couples?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I was like doing it like on the side, like as a side gig for a while.
Yeah, but I didn't know you did 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it started out. So when I originally got ordained, it was for Ryan and D'Angelo.
Oh, okay.
The person who was supposed to marry them was sick, and I like went online, did it, and then married them. That was the first couple I married. And then maybe a year later, my mom and dad, they had some neighbors when they lived in the apartments up north.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to get married, and my mom asked me if I would do it because they just wanted to like go to the canal and like elope. And I was like, sure.
Do you have to file paperwork?
I don't. So what I would do is the couple would bring the marriage certificate and I would sign it, but it would be up to them to file it.
Oh, okay.
But some other ministers would do the filing for you, but they can take it back up to city. It's on them.
Okay.
Because I did not charge that much money. So you do your own thing. You turn it in or maybe don't turn it in if you change your mind. It's up to you. Mm-hmm. And then after that, let me think. I feel like, I remember. So the lady who has cut our hair like ever since we were babies, literally, and cuts like all of our family members' hair. She had a customer, like a regular customer, who she'd been cutting her hair for a long time. And they contacted me because they saw that I had married a couple of people like on Facebook. And they were like, oh, are you still ordained? This person's like minister like dropped out at the last minute and they really need somebody. And I was like, oh yeah, I could do that. But it took me a while to actually think about it and decide if I wanted to do it, because this would be an actual wedding with a crowd, like not just an elopement.
Oh.
And what I had done before was just like the 2 people who are being married and a couple of people. Like Ryan and D'Angelo's wedding was in his grandma's living room.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah, so then I did that one. It was about, I would say like 50 to 75 people.
Damn.
And I was paid $100 for that wedding. And then after that, I was like, I could do this. Like, I felt confident after that first one with the crowd. And so I started offering non-religious ceremonies across the board. Like, I would offer to mention God in the ceremony, but I'm not like doing a prayer or anything like that. Like, I didn't feel right about that. And then, for like about a year, maybe 2019, before the pandemic for sure, I was doing them. And then at the end, I really just wanted to do elopements. I wanted to just meet up a couple in a nice place, marry them and sign their marriage certificate, send them on the way, just like quick, easy money. Mm-hmm. But the reason I stopped, which is actually kind of funny, is they would pay me ahead of time, which I would tell them, I would prefer you pay me the day of, like in case something happens, I drop out, like whatever. But they would pay me ahead of time, and then I would spend that money. And then 2 months from now, I have to go and marry these people, and it feels like I'm not being paid. Like, if I had a more consistent, like, rolling schedule, it wouldn't feel like that.
Yeah.
But because it was, like, every few months I had a wedding, But there was one day I had 2 weddings in one day that I did. One, it was like earlier in the morning and then in the evening.
I was gonna say it's a wedding though. They're gonna pay you like as soon as they book you down there.
And I can understand why that's more comfortable. But
it's already paid out of sight.
But I would always say like if you don't mind like paying me the day of, I would prefer that. But if they wanted to pay me ahead of time, I'd let them. But then I'm like, I'm not just gonna like sit on this money until their day. Like I'm gonna use it for bills or something.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it was like $75 to $100 depending on the crowd.
Damn.
So I was like, going to the light bill or whatever. And then 2 months later, I'm driving out to freaking, I don't know, out in the boonies to a wedding barn to do a wedding. And, so anyway.
Oh, yeah. Did you charge mileage? Like, is this included in your fee?
Yeah, I did come up with like a calculation where if it was outside of 465, I would charge so much per mile outside of 465, and that I wouldn't go more than an hour outside of Indianapolis, outside of like from my address, basically.
What's the farthest you've gone?
I think I went a full hour away.
To where?
I want to say it was Frankfurt. Or there was a town that started with a J, like Jamestown or
Jasper.
Not Jasper. That's like 3 hours away. But yeah. But every time the family was super nice and loving. And then I would do the ceremony and I would feel like kind of 50-50 about it. And they would come up to me afterwards and be like, you were so awesome. Thank you so much. Like you did a great job. But the weirdest wedding I did was in somebody's mother's mobile home, which was very cramped. And the bride wore Colts slippers. She was wearing a wedding dress and Colts slippers.
What was the guy wearing?
I don't know.
Was he wearing a t-shirt and jeans?
Like a sweater and some pants or something like that. Like it was obviously very impromptu, but it was so like white trash.
Girl, at least barefoot at that point. Like
yeah, like that would be more like spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, she wanted to wear her Colts gear at her wedding, which was interesting.
Yikes. I mean, you do you, girl.
Yeah. That was on the south side, but the area where the house the area where the house was at, like I had to drive down this really long dirt road to get to the house because it was like set back off the road, and yeah, I couldn't see the house from the road, which was kind of scary. And then I pull up to a mobile home that had like a self-built attachment to it, and there was like trash in the yard. It was just
what?
I honestly should not have gone inside. It was very scary, but I'd already been paid, so.
You just go by yourself to these things?
There was a couple times where Travis went with me and just stayed in the car. But and it was one of the ones where we drove kind of far, like 30 to 45 minutes. But that was more like because like if something happens on the road and I break down, like I don't want to be by myself.
Yeah.
That one was like a much bigger wedding, and I told him, I was like, I don't know how long it's going to take before they're ready to start the wedding and before I can get paid and leave. Like I'm pretty sure it was one where I was getting paid the day of, so I had to then wait for the bride and groom to be ready to pay me to be able to leave. And of course they expect the vendors to hang around a little while, eat, you still have to sign the marriage certificate, so you have to wait around for a good time for that. And I probably should have wrote that into the contract, like
pay me after we're done.
Yeah, after you walk back down the aisle and before you go take pictures,
or not even them, like hand the money off to someone else and have them pay you.
Right. And even the marriage certificate, like let me sign it and you guys can sign it later or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe if I ever get back into that, but if you need a ordained minister, I'm your girl.
Yeah,
but pay me the day of. Book me and pay me the day of, not before.
She don't want no prepay.
I will spend your money and then I'll feel like I'm not being paid.
And then she won't do a good job, so.
No, that's not true. I'll always do a good job.
Pay her the day of.
Pay me the day of. All right, what's your next one? We spent a lot of time on my first one. Should I look at your phone from around the microphone?
My favorite cocktail drink is an amaretto sour. Thank you to Alyssa, who shared hers with me for the first time about 6 years ago.
I've heard they're very good. I've never had one.
They're delicious.
You should make me one next time we record the podcast.
Okay.
You can Google it.
Okay. I think it's just liquor.
It's just liqueur.
Liqueur. But yeah, we were at...
Oh, liqueur.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to. It's just oh liqueur.
It's just a liqueur.
It's just oh shards.
It's just O'Reilly.
Oh. O'Reilly? You're supposed to do it.
Oh, I thought you were finishing it off. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're good.
Was that all for your second one?
Yep.
All right. My second one is I really love to cook and try new recipes and cook for my friends.
Amen. And she does it well.
Thank you.
She does it well.
Yeah, I, without bashing on my parents too much, I was not taught. I mean, I was taught some like simple recipes from my parents, but I feel like I've surpassed them in expertise. So has my sister. My sister's worked in a lot of restaurants, so she's learned a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's to the point where like my dad will ask me to make something and like bring him some over. Stuff like that. Like stuff that he's not good at making, like fried food or what have you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Very
Next
good.
one.
I am currently reading the book The Body Keeps the Score, but I am taking my time.
How much time have you taken?
I'm still on page 12 or something.
From the first sitting that you did where you fell asleep?
No, I've done 2 sittings now. Oh, maybe I am further along. But anyways, yeah, it's the book I'm currently reading. The Body Keeps the Score.
I thought about putting my last book. I'm trying to think of what that. Oh, it was the real self-care book, which I kind of want to reread. Maybe I'll go back to that. All right, my third one is I had a sculpture erected in high school.
Don't say it.
I purposely worded it that way.
You had a sculpture? What?
I had a sculpture erected in high school.
What do you mean you had a sculpture?
I made a sculpture.
And they what?
And they erected it in a cemetery. You don't know this?
Sorry, what?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you don't know this.
You made a sculpture and they put it up.
Yes,
in
I made
cemetery.
a like 7-foot tall sculpture with a few classmates, but it was my design.
I kind of remember this.
I'm going to pull it
Were
up.
you like a sophomore?
No, I was a senior or junior. I can't remember.
What?
No, it was senior because I was with Travis.
Why did you just look yourself up?
Oh, I meant to look up my mom. Because she's got an album. Hold on a second.
Wait, for a cemetery specifically?
Yes. So while I'm looking this up, Flannery Buchanan, which is a cemetery funeral home company, there was one next door to our high school, Broderpool, and they partnered with our art class to come up with a contest to build a sculpture. And they gave us a general theme, which was like
death.
Which was ascension. It was ascension. Death. It was ascension.
Is it a phoenix?
No.
Oh.
It's butterflies.
Oh, cute.
Cute. So cute. So I had already made, where the fuck is it? I had already made a little drawing of butterflies kind of going up in like a spiral. And I basically submitted that as my ascension draft. There it is. And they picked mine for the contest. And they partnered with the Broderpool Art Center in Broderpool to help us make it. So this is all stainless steel. We had to use welding tools and everything to create it. I'll post it with the episode posting. And it spins. You have to manually spin it because it's too heavy for the wind to spin it. But that was kind of the idea, was that the wind would spin it, but it's too heavy.
You think you know your bestie.
And it's got rainbow colors on it.
Oh my god, that is so cool.
See how big it is compared to me?
Wow.
And this is the cemetery by my house on 21st and Raceway. 21st and Raceway. 21st and Raceway.
No, I know what you're saying.
So,
I was thinking of 10th and Raceway. It's on the other side. Yep. Okay, 21st. Yeah.
So if you just pull up in the drive, like right in front of the mausoleum, you'll see it next to the mausoleum.
Oh.
It's still there. It's been there since my senior year.
Wow.
It's a little, like the paint's wearing off and like it's worn because it's been in the weather, but yeah, when we went to do the ceremony for it being like put up or whatever, they gave me a box of butterflies to release.
What?
It was pretty cool. They were monarch butterflies. And, oh, fun fact. In that mausoleum right next to it is my grandpa. Mama's husband.
Was she there?
At the... Yeah.
Oh,
at the ceremony,
when they erected it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There we go.
That is so sweet. I did not know that. I don't think there's no way I knew
this
that.
Is Miss Tite.
That?
This is Miss Tite, which was my art teacher, and then this
yeah.
was the lady who helped us build it at the art center. I forgot her name. Julie, maybe, or something like that.
That is so cool. We can stop the episode here.
The whole episode.
That tops it
I've
off.
got more fun facts.
Wow.
But yeah. So if you want to see it, it's at 21st and Raceway. There's a cemetery there called West Park Cemetery or something like that. And it's right next to the mausoleum if you just pull up to the like front drive or whatever.
Am I touching you? This is Bolin's tail. I was like, what is this?
No, it's not me.
Man, I'm over here thinking like, dang, have I ever had anything erected?
Well,
I've never had anything erected, but I've had like my art in an art museum.
That's cool.
But it was like temporary. And it wasn't very good art.
I mean, this is technically temporary. It's not going to last forever.
Yeah. I was going to say, mine's like, it was good for being a kid, but like as an adult, I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been there 12 years.
That's cool. That's really neat.
Yep. Sometimes people will drive by it and they'll be like, is your sculpture still there? And I'm like, yeah, but you have to like go into the cemetery. You can't see it from the road.
Yeah.
Because you drive by too fast and the window between the two openings is too small. So you barely miss it. Like if you know exactly where to look, you can see it. But otherwise you have to drive up to the mausoleum to see it.
Have you gone back to it since?
Oh yeah, I've seen it multiple times since. I actually looked to see if it was still there the other day. I don't know what'll happen if they decide to take it down. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they'll ask me if I want it or if they'll auction it. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yep. Anyway.
Okay.
Next one.
What?
She's reading her own notes. What?
I literally typed in what, but that's not what I meant to say.
Right, exactly.
I traveled to Texas to see my best friend, Michael, female, by myself when I was 20 years old.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that was the first time I traveled all by myself. Well, the only time really that I've traveled all by myself.
20?
When I was 20, and I went to go visit Michael in Texas.
I did not know that.
So I flew from Indy to Dallas, Fort Worth, and then from there I had to land on an army base. What is that? What army base is that?
Fort Worth.
Is it Fort Worth?
Yeah.
Is it? Wait, what did I say at first?
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Oh. Well, it's Dallas and then Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And like I remember...
But the airport might be called both.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the army base is called Fort Worth. That's one of the most popular army bases in the world, in the country, especially in Texas.
And there's a lot of shit that happens there.
Oh yeah.
So I was actually
we can have a whole episode about that.
At the time I didn't know, but I was like in this tiny little plane. It was like me and like 10 soldiers. Like I think I was probably the only, there might have been like a couple other people, civilians, but it was mostly soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this tiny little aircraft and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And I remember like I brought a book to read with me and I wanted to like read my book, but I just felt so paranoid. I don't know. I couldn't focus. But anyways, I traveled there when I was 20 years old.
Out of your comfort zone for sure.
Yeah.
At 20 years old, never traveling anywhere by yourself.
I was brave.
For real.
It was fun.
I bet.
It was a good time.
How long did you stay?
I stayed there for about a week and a half, maybe. Or maybe just about a week. No, I think it was about a week and a half. Spent some time with her.
It's worth it.
And then my cousin from San Antonio picked me up and took me to her house for a couple days. And
you came back
it was
home?
fun. Came back home by myself. And then like my flight left at like 4 a.m. or something. So we got there early. Or no, I think it went at 6. But we got there at 4 a.m. So we said our goodbyes. We're both crying. I go to open the door of the airport and it's closed. And I read the timing and it still wasn't going to be open for like another hour. And I went back to Michael and then she was like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, let's just go to Walmart or something. And then we just sat in the parking lot and waited for an hour.
After you cried goodbye.
Literally, it was so awkward, like going back to her car. Like, so it's still not open.
Yeah. So it's not open.
And then when it was time to finally like part way, then we didn't cry. We're just all right,
bye.
Yeah, talk to you later.
We did this thing already.
Yeah.
All right, my next one is I was captain of the color guard in high school.
Nice.
Angelica was also in the color guard.
I do not like people knowing that, but yeah, sure.
She was in the color guard with us.
I've tried really hard to suppress that. Thank you for bringing that up.
I think that we would be more proud of it if we would have had a proper instructor for more time. Like, part of our issue was they could not keep an instructor for us. And I think that was budgeting issues. Like, they couldn't pay an instructor enough to come after school and instruct us for weeks on end, hours a day. I think because it was IPS, they couldn't.
Who was that lady that stayed the longest? The short hair girl?
Laura.
Mm-hmm. She was kind of a bitch.
She was a little weird too.
She was a little weird. Honestly.
But she was the best teacher we had.
Honestly, I'm grateful for color guard because I got to meet Brian.
Yeah.
And he taught us all his rifle moves.
I'm grateful for color guard because I really loved being a part of the band. Even though we weren't in the musical part of the band, going to parades and football games and basketball games and pep rallies, and I mean, that was just the shit. And now today as an adult, when I see marching bands, it just hypes me up so much. Like, it just fills my body with joy when I hear a marching band or if I see a marching band. And I'm just like, oh, I miss that so much. And in case anybody's wondering, the drumline's the best part of the band. And that's from an unbiased position because I was never doing an instrument, playing an instrument, not doing an instrument.
I agree. The drumline is the best part. It's
what gets you hype.
It's the heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next. Yours is next. I said I was captain of the color guard.
Oh, I was like, I just talked about going to Texas. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a famous singer, which was inspired by Selena. And then it turned into a TV host inspired by Tyra Banks.
Which we've said was problematic now.
Yes, she's very problematic, but I loved her at the time.
Actually, after we had that conversation, I looked up like problematic scenes.
From
like
the
on
Tyra
YouTube.
Banks show?
No, from
America's Next Top Model?
Yes. Boy.
It's bad.
She was a
really
bitch
bad
on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. She should have known better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because, like, unfortunately, it is true what people say, like, during those times, you wouldn't think twice about it. Like, you would, like, what she says was just what she said.
It was
like,
just normal societal standards.
It was normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, I'm not even talking about America's Next Top Model. That's bad.
Yeah.
But the Tyra Banks show, I thought was really good.
I never watched Tyra Banks show.
I
only
loved
watched
it.
Have you ever seen Life Size, the movie?
With Lindsay Lohan?
No, Tyra Banks. Wait, is it Lindsay Lohan? Yeah, it is. I couldn't remember who the kid was.
Is it Lindsay Lohan? Now you got me thinking.
Let's look it up. Have you seen it, though?
It's either Lindsay Lohan or... No, it's not Hilary Duff. Tyra was my idol, though. I fucking loved her.
Oh, it's on Disney. Oh, that's good. I have Disney Plus. Yeah, I'm going to watch it tomorrow, and I'll let you know. I'll report back.
Okay. Copy that.
All right. I have had 12 different jobs in 15 years, but my last job I've had for 6 years.
Damn.
Wait,
so you've had 12 jobs in the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
The last 6 were the most recent one.
Yep.
So for 9 years, you've had 11 jobs.
Yep. I know that sounds crazy, but it's a testament to show, like, it's just about finding the right job, the right place for you, where you're happy, where they're going to pour into you and you're going to pour into them, and it sustains you, and that's it. So,
yeah. Amen. While working as a bank teller, we were robbed and there was a gun involved, but thankfully I never saw it.
Wow, I forgot you were a bank teller for a while.
Yeah, I was a bank teller for like 7 months, maybe 8 months. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even my fucking shift. It wasn't even my shift.
You covering for someone?
Yeah, I was covering for, I forget what her name was, but it was a Saturday morning and I was off Saturday, and she was doing something, probably partying Friday night, and didn't want to come in Saturday. And so she asked me if I could come in. And I was like, I mean, I'm not doing anything. We close at 2. That's fine.
Yeah.
And so I came in, and it was just me and this other teller. I was doing the drive, and he was doing the front. And a tall man walked inside, and he went to we only had one banker at the time. There's like only 3 of us literally this morning.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it's only 4 hours, right? They're only open 4 hours. So
yeah, I think so.
10 to 2.
Yeah. And so he like goes to the banker, and I don't really, you can't really hear what they're saying because they're kind of behind glass, and we're still doing our thing. And then it was all empty. Oh shit.
You gotta tighten that back up.
I thought I did it. Okay. And then him and the banker come up to the window where the other teller was. What?
Nothing.
So then him and the banker come up to the teller, and I'm minding my damn business at the window.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear the teller say, "Is this for real?" And that's what made me look back.
Yeah.
And the banker just goes, "Yeah, it's real." And I should have stayed at my window.
Yeah. And you're like, "Oh, what's going on?"
I should have been so oblivious, but I just hear him go, "Ah." I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's trying to like take out this huge withdrawal, or he's trying, which he was.
Yeah.
Like,
just not of his own money.
And so I thought maybe like, oh, like we didn't have that much money or whatever. Well, next thing you know, he just starts taking out his cash box. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I hear the guy tell the banker her too. And so he says, "Hey," I think he was careful not to say my name. Like he was like, "Hey, you too." And I was like, "Huh?" And then I walk over there and I see the note, and it says, "This is a robbery. Give me all your money." Like literally how it says it in the like TV shows. I don't know why I'm laughing about it now. It says, "This is a robbery. Give me all the money."
Yeah.
And so it was so funny because like people are so stupid. Like we don't keep high like dollar amounts on hand. We just we make multiple drops throughout the day, like
for security reasons.
Obviously.
For this purpose.
And so I remember I was like, "Oh, you want all my money? You want all my bet you're gonna get all my fucking
all
money.
$200.
You're gonna I think it was like I think I had like less than $200, but I gave him all of my fucked up money.
Yeah.
And I knew what kind of fucked up money I had. Like I had memorized what was in my cash box, and it was like, bills that were ripped up with dye on them, with gum, with hair, stuff like that.
Ugh.
Strippers. And so I handed him all the cash,
spanking.
and he literally said, "What is this?" And I was like, "That's my money. That's what I have," because I put it on top of everything else.
Dumbass getting smart with the robber.
I didn't know he had a gun. I literally laid my shitty cash on top of my regular cash.
He was just robbing the bank without a gun? How else would he enforce that he needs the money? Angelica did not see enough bank robbery movies when she was younger.
I mean, I technically didn't interact with him. I just said, "Yeah, that's all the money." Like I put the shitty money on top and I handed it to him, and that was it. And then, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that before he came up to the bank teller, he went up to the door that led to us.
Uh-huh.
And then I just thought they walked away to do something, and then they came up to the teller. So anyway, so this guy just immediately starts grabbing all the cash into like a book bag, and then just like hurries off and walks away. And then the banker, he says, "Lock up and call the cops. I'm calling the cops." Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's whatever. Like that's the protocol. And then later I found out. See, the banker is just as funny as I am, because the guy had walked up to the banker and says, like, "Take me to your vault. This is a robbery. Like, I'm taking all you guys' money."
Yeah.
And then the banker goes, like, starts laughing, like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And then he says that's when he put the gun down in front, like, on the desk, and pointed to him. He's like, "I'm not fucking with you." And the banker's like, "Oh." But, like, at first he's like, "Dude, are you for real? Like, what?" And then, so he takes the banker to the door that leads to us, and he starts punching, because there's a code you have to put in to get in there. He starts punching in a code, and it wasn't going in, because they tell you, like, in training, do everything you possibly can without risking your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you feel comfortable, like, obviously the bank, I almost said the bank name. The bank would never ask you. Did I?
Yeah. Or maybe I did.
I was really careful not saying it.
I think I said
okay, well, anyways, the bank.
I said strippers bank at bank.
Okay. Okay,
I'll bleep it later if you want me to.
Well, the bank is, like, we're not asking you to put your life at risk.
Right.
Ever. You shouldn't.
Any company has to say that.
But
for liability.
But they tell you, like, do everything you can within, like, reasonable. Okay. So he, like, starts punching in a code, and then he says, oh, I was off this weekend, or I was off this past weekend. They must have changed it. Like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And the guy believed him. So he was like, okay, whatever. Take me to, like, the tellers. And that's when that happened. But he said that he had the gun pointed to his back the whole time.
That's scary as hell.
Imagine having a gun pointed to your back, going up and punching in the wrong code intentionally.
I couldn't do that.
And being like, dude, I was on vacation.
I'd be like, oh, here's the code. You put it in yourself, bud. I'll sit back here and take a sip. I don't care if I lose my job after this.
I would not have even thought about that. And then being like, oh, sorry, dude, I just came back from vacation. Like, they must have changed the code while I was gone. Like,
such
that's
a good excuse.
Yeah. And like, oh, poor dude. He was like, I was like,
traumatized.
Y'all need to give him the rest of the month
Were
off.
you traumatized after that?
No.
Did you have OCD before that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was in college. Yeah, and I remember the FBI came in, and I had to give a statement, and we, like, got letters in the mail for, like, trauma therapists or whatever. And it's so funny because it's, you know how they say...
It's funny.
No, it's interesting how your brain is so sure of what you see. Mm-hmm. So, like, they asked me to describe him.
Yeah.
And, like, I got his tattoos right, and I got his, like, type of clothes right, but I got the colors wrong. But I was so adamant about the colors. I was like, no, it's this color.
Yeah.
And when they watched the video, they came back and told me that I had the tattoos and, like, the clothing, like, the articles of clothing correct, but the color was wrong. And I was like, what? But, like, my brain sees it so clearly as this color. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Nowadays, when people come and they rob pharmacies, they will just put a note on the counter that says, this is a robbery. I have the gun. Give me all the controls in the safe. And they never even have to show you the gun.
Yeah.
You just have to assume that they have a gun.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like,
people will rob pharmacies without a gun just in hopes that they will believe them, because then if they get caught, it's less of a charge without a gun. It's not armed robbery. It's just robbery.
Yeah. And so because I never saw a gun,
I
just assumed Tim was under that impression that, like, hey, we just have to assume he has a weapon. But then to come out and hear, like, no, he had it on my back the whole time. I was like, oh my God.
And that's why you were getting smart with him, because you didn't think he really had a weapon.
I was like, here you go, motherfucker. Like, take all my...
Fuck you.
Take my stripper cash.
My stripper cash.
Well, and then I told him that too, and they said that was actually very helpful in finding him.
The bad money? Wow.
It would be helpful. I don't actually know if they caught him.
Yeah, but, like, they could identify the money better. That makes sense. Gum and hair and... All right, my next one is, if I were to have been born male, my name would have been Andrew.
Oh, per your parents.
Yes.
I thought you...
I'm psychic. I would have known that.
I thought you would have liked the name Andrew.
Oh.
So I was like, what the fuck?
No, my parents told me. And Kendra would have been Kevin. I'm just laughing because I told hers, and she probably is mad about it.
Wait, Andrew? Interesting.
Yeah, because my dad's middle name is Joseph, so they were going to continue the middle name Joseph, and that would have been AJ.
Oh, that's cute. But you had to be a girl.
All 3 girls from my dad.
It's his fault.
Yep.
Amen.
It literally is.
It's
literally his chromosomes.
I'm watching Tacoma PD, and it's about these firefighters, and there's, like, one of the sayings on the not the sayings, but one of the things on the show is that if you make a woman orgasm, then it's a boy, and if you didn't make a woman orgasm, then that's a girl.
Oh, interesting.
It's not true, obviously, but
still, it's funny to think of.
That's what they keep bringing up in the show, and it's, like, really funny. And anyway, oh, next month I will be completing 4 years at my current job, which is the longest I've been at a job. 4 years.
Longest for me too at home at 6 years.
Yeah. I started 1 week before the pandemic shut everything down.
The panorama. A panini. I love that joke. It's such a good bit.
What did I say that thing? I just say in this pandemic? Like, no, it's 4 years past that.
Yeah. I have only had one surgery, and it was a C-section.
I'm over like, what? Surgery? Oh,
when I had cash, my C-section, that's the only surgery I've ever had.
Wow.
Cross my fingers. This is a plastic table.
There's got to be some wood in here.
There's probably like a cardboard in the middle of like the plastic or something.
The mold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so stupid, but I put it on here because
I might have a couple stupid ones too.
Okay. Bear with me, guys. When looking for my first job after college, I remembered a recruiter telling me I need to be memorable. So during a phone interview, I asked the interviewer, what do you call a cow with no legs?
Did you get the job?
I said, surprisingly, I still got the job. Skullface. No, but when I told her the answer was ground beef, she did not laugh.
She's like, this girl thinks she's funny. We need her. Oh my god. I'm gonna make a clip of that.
I mean, she kind of chuckled after like a couple seconds. And
She's probably laughing at you thinking that telling a joke in an interview was appropriate. She's like, this bitch.
She literally said, is there anything else you want me to know?
And that's what you replied? I want you to know what it's called, a cow with no legs. Oh, that's hilarious.
I think when I went in for the in-person interview, I think I brought it up.
You brought it up? Why did you dump it down? What's wrong with you? No. That is very embarrassing.
No, but to be fair, my first job out of college, which I've only had 2, it was not a real job, okay? Mm-hmm. It was, this was not a real job at all. Like, no offense or whatever, but like, we did sumo wrestling. We had ping pong table. You could bring your dogs. You could drink after 3.
Yeah.
We were partying left and right. Like,
it was college kids.
It was
hanging out.
Great. But yeah,
also,
I didn't learn shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't good on my resume.
No. Well,
it was fun though.
I don't think anybody outside of the company would have known.
Yeah, it was a great time. I made my lifelong bestie, Jessica, there.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
My next one is I almost got a full ride scholarship to Butler University.
Girl, what happened?
It was a STEM scholarship.
Oh.
And it was a contest in which I was one of the 6 finalists in all of IPS, where I had to write an essay, and I was one of the 6 finalists. And then I had to do something else for the finalist, to compete against the other 5 finalists. And I did not win. But it would have been a full ride scholarship to Butler University,
shit.
Which, if you know anything about that, back then, like a year at Butler University was like $40,000.
Jesus Christ.
Compared to IUPUI, which would have been like $10,000 for a year. Yeah.
That's literally insane.
Insane. It's because it's private college.
Yeah. And it's
but it would have been worth it if I would have got that full ride. Beautiful campus. Beautiful campus. And small campus too, like much smaller than IUPUI.
Mm-hmm.
More like homey. A lot more homes around, and it's not downtown. That's why. It's in a neighborhood. But yeah, that would have been, it's interesting to think like what my life would be like if I ended up getting that full ride scholarship, and like what I would have done with that, like what degree I would have gotten, or, where I would be right now if I got that scholarship, but it went to somebody else.
Can't harp on the coulda, shoulda been.
Yeah, no, I barely ever think about it until we do things like this.
Oh, okay, great.
So let's do more things like this.
Back in 2019 in Mexico, I paid for an elderly woman's bus ride, and in return, she handed me a small laminated prayer card. It's a prayer for safe travels, and I've kept it in my wallet ever since.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I got to like talking to her, and then, not that she needed me to pay or anything, I just felt like, I don't know.
Generous.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I'll get her bus ride, and then she was like, no, it's okay. I'm like, it's fine, like, it's not a big deal. And then she kind of like just reached into her pocket and she goes, here, take this with you, like carry it wherever you go, this will keep you safe. And I was like, oh, thank you. And it's like this laminated little
did
card.
You know you have OCD and now you can never let it go.
Yeah. I just thought it was really sweet. Like,
it is very sweet.
Who does that? Like, yeah. I don't know if like, she had it for so long and then she gave it to me, or did someone give it to her? She just carry
multiple around?
Yeah, does she carry? Is she lacking? Prayer card, and it's really cute, and I keep it in my wallet.
It's cute.
Yeah.
My next one is I am not a sports fan at all, but I will watch live basketball. Sometimes on TV, but I would really prefer to be live.
Yes.
At the stadium.
Yep.
Otherwise, I can't do football even live. baseball.
I can do anything live.
I can only do basketball. So I'm really hoping if Cash gets any sports, it's going to be basketball because it's also indoors. That's another reason. But
yeah.
Because for some reason, football and baseball, their seasons either start or end in fucking winter. So
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Football ends in winter and baseball starts in winter and ends in spring.
I mean, he's going to be tall, so he'd probably have a good chance of being on the basketball team.
Yeah, hopefully.
If he wanted to.
If he wanted to, hopefully.
Yeah.
If not, maybe not sports. Maybe something else that's also indoor. Band would be great.
I was going to say, what if he wants to get on the drum line?
We really want him to be a band kid.
Because Travis was on the drum line, right?
Yes, Travis was on the drum line. Yeah, we've talked about wanting to be band parents.
Oh,
I know.
You guys spend a lot of money.
I know, but I don't care. Like,
no, I know.
If it's his passion, and we would enjoy going, like, we would be at every parade, football game, like, just because we love being with the band, but also because our son is in the band. We're like, that's our, I really hope he wants to be in the band. Specifically the drum line.
Nothing else. You cannot do anything else.
I don't even care if I have to deal with the headache of the drums in my home. It would be worth it.
I love that.
Yeah. All right. Yours next.
My dad named me after my mom. That's it.
Yeah, if you don't know, Angelica's mom's name is Angelica.
Yeah. So they named my sister, who's older, after the Virgin Mary because the Virgin Mary kept my mom and my sister safe because my mom was pregnant when she traveled to the U.S. Mm-hmm. And then when they had me, my dad was like, well, let's just name her Angelica. I think he just was...
just didn't want to make any other decisions.
Yeah, or like...
Well, then how did they come with the twins' names? Like, they didn't just copy and paste their names.
Huh. Well, no. I think Alex was named after my mom's cousin, and then Jerry was named after my cousin. I think that's where they got the inspiration from. But have you seen that video where it's like the girl telling the boyfriend, like, what's the first female name you think of? Uh-huh. And then they say some random name and she goes, oh, what about my name? I felt like my dad did that. Like, my mom was like, what name should we name this girl? Angelica. There's no other female name that exists to me.
He's like, don't even try to trick me. I know this trick.
This is a trick question.
Yeah.
Angelica.
It's Angelica and it will never be anything else. But since then, your mom has added her middle name to be Maria. Yeah. So her mom's name is Angelica. Her daughter's names.
Literally her daughter's names.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, my next one is I have photographic memory. I think you do too, though, don't you?
Oh, no.
The way you just explained being able to picture the robbers, like their tattoos and everything.
Oh, yeah, but I was wrong.
Not about the tattoos, though.
I mean, no, but...
So for me, the way it works for me is like, if I'm writing something down, then later on when I have to recall what I wrote down, I can picture it in my brain the way I wrote it.
Okay, I'm that's why, like, in college, I needed to write it down. Like, I couldn't just type it on my computer. I had to write it down because then I could see the words in my head.
And the way you wrote it, or like spaces.
Yes.
And, yeah.
I don't think mine's that good though, but
and I think for people who also have that, how we're just saying is like, if you take notes in different colors, that helps you remember because then you're recognizing the color as well.
Yes, I agree. I have a minor in sociology.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
Mm-mm.
That was actually my major, and then I changed it to be my minor.
What did you learn in sociology?
Oh, I learned a lot.
Like what?
Well, in sociology, you had to take like a specific subject, and then in sociology, so like blank in sociology. So like death and dying in sociology, drugs in sociology.
Yeah. So is it all like just these specific topics in regards to society?
Yes.
Okay.
In groups. And basically just talked about that for the whole semester.
That seems actually really interesting.
So like in death and dying, you would learn how groups of people grieve, how they do like death ceremonies and funerals and how they mourn and why they mourn that way. And then same thing with drugs, like age groups, like who would use drugs more, where it's more prevalent at, or, like minorities or...
In that class, did you talk about like physician-assisted suicide and stuff like that?
Yeah, death and dying. That's where I learned about that.
I think they call it, the general term is death with dignity.
Yeah.
Talked about that on Grey's Anatomy.
That's really cool, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree with it.
If you know you have like a terminal disease.
Yeah, and you're suffering.
Yeah, and you're suffering, and you know you only have like a couple of months or whatever. Like,
yeah,
you invite all your friends to come over, and you just gather around, tell stories, and just have a good time. And you know, when you feel the time is right, you get the pill, and you go to sleep forever.
Yeah, it's not legal in every state.
No, I think it's only at the time. I think it was only like 13 states. It's very hard to get it passed.
Yeah,
very difficult, obviously for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I think we all know. I mean, to this day and age, after Roe versus Wade was turned over, who knows how many states have now reverted back?
Yeah. I'd be interested to. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Interested to know how they'd be connected.
Mm-hmm.
Was that mine?
Yeah, you're on 11.
Okay. I used to tap dance.
I knew that. I loved your guys' tap dances. You and Kendra, right?
Yep, yeah, we did.
We went to go see you a couple times.
Yeah, so we did the whole shebang. Like, we would do weeks worth of classes, and then we'd have a recital at the end where we'd buy our costumes. It'd be a whole day of recitals for this dance company.
So cool.
Yeah, we'd get on stage and do our thing. And my favorite one, we did the whole dance company. Their recital dance had to be to a Janet Jackson song. And so it was all Janet Jackson songs, and it was really cool.
Were you ever nervous? Like, did you ever get stage fright?
Yeah, I was always nervous, but never like debilitatingly nervous. I was always able to overcome it and do my thing. And I don't think I ever really messed up either. Maybe a couple like misstep that maybe no one would notice, but
why tap dancing? Like, who?
I don't know. I don't remember how I got started in it, but I remember like my mom finding this dance company close to our house, and she was like, "You guys want to get into dance?" Well, okay. If you take it a little bit further back, Peggy, we started tap dancing with Peggy first.
Oh.
And that was a very mild version of what we did at the dance company.
She was a dance teacher at our
at Hawthorne,
which was our childcare.
Yeah, childcare summer camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is right. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, Peggy.
I actually had a memory in my Facebook recently of a picture of my tap shoes on my feet.
Aww.
Yeah. I don't think I'd do it again though. I remember at the end, I was still in it my junior year of high school.
Wow.
And I was like, half an hour, 45-minute class every Thursday. And I remember by then I was like really losing stamina. Like, they were having us do such fast routines because we were in such an advanced version that like after every number I was like,
Jesus, I bet.
Because it was just so, I mean, you're literally jumping the whole time.
Yeah.
You're literally jumping from foot to foot the whole time you're tapping. So it takes a lot. And then I just remember like I had a boyfriend. I was
gonna say, did you cut it because you had a boyfriend?
Oh my God, I have a boyfriend now. I don't really need tap dance. And I don't really love it anymore. And I was like, Mom, you guys can stop paying for my tap dance because I don't want to go anymore.
I think I quit the color guard because I had a boyfriend.
Me too. Well, also because I was tired of managing it when we didn't have a teacher. Like, we were doing our own fundraisers to get our own costumes, to get our own new flags. And we were just making a fool of ourselves because we didn't have a teacher.
My boyfriend was tired
of doing that.
My boyfriend was in the orchestra, so I had to pick sides. I couldn't be banned anymore.
You had to go to the dark side.
Fuck that guy. Me and my best friend Sophia started the girls' soccer team at our high school. Previously, it was only co-ed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we did that our senior year.
Wow.
We just wanted to be part
I remember
of something.
it being co-ed though, because like we had friends that were in soccer.
Yeah, it was all co-ed all throughout the years, and then well, I mean, obviously not all throughout the years. I don't know when they stopped, but yeah, it was co-ed.
Is he snoring? Yeah, he's sleeping. Oh my God, he's like rumbling the floor. I don't know if they can hear it. Wait, hold on. Just be very still. Your headphones, come closer. He stopped. Oh, he's awake now. Oh man, I hope you guys heard that. Roland was snoring like an old man, and he was vibrating the floor. He's right below the table we're sitting at. Okay.
Yeah. So that was cool. Hey guys,
guess what?
Did you know?
We have merch.
Merch. We have shirts, crew necks, sweatshirts, sweaters, mugs, hats,
baseball caps. Yeah,
baseball caps. Buy one for your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your aunt, your cousin, your grandma, your grandpa, your dog.
Everyone.
Everybody.
Makes a good gift.
Makes a great gift.
Yes, and we have new merch that say good things all happen exactly when they're supposed to. Our little quote. So go check that out. And also, they're unisexual.
Unisexual. We know you like a little uni. little sexual uni moment.
Hop on there and get you some merch. And when someone asks you what you're wearing, you tell them about our podcast.
Even share an episode with them.
Yes, of course. Whatever your favorite episode is. You can get that at bonfire.com/store/HWG-merch.
Okay.
All right. What number are we on?
I think you're doing 12.
Yes. Have you done 12?
Yeah, I did my 12.
Okay. My favorite comfort food is any kind of pasta or fried food.
Oh, nice. Dude, I went to Olive Garden recently with my family and I had the chicken Alfredo fried. The fried chicken, not the grilled.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, never knew my father.
I never knew. So good. God damn. Dude, it was so good. Like, so. I'm never going back to grilled. Dude, that was so good.
Yeah, I bet.
Wow, amazing. Chef's kiss. Thank you, Olive Garden. When you're here, you're gay.
When you're here, you're family. When you're here, you're gay. During Pride Month.
When you're here, you're here. Okay. I can fall asleep anywhere. Literally,
I cannot.
Anywhere.
I've realized this about myself. I can't. I have to be in my bed.
No, oh, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I can fall asleep literally anywhere.
I've fallen asleep a couple of times in Cash's bed, but that really, I don't get a good night's sleep. Like, I'll be up and down all night.
No, I can fall asleep anywhere. Do you remember where? Oh, it was after your baby shower. We went back to Maria's house, and we were all sitting around the fire pit.
Yeah.
And I just fell asleep.
I don't remember you falling asleep. Maybe it was after I left.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I was just, and it was like a terrible chair. Like, it was like a metal chair. Fell asleep, and I woke up, and Maria pretended like she was writing on my face, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she goes, go look in the mirror, go look at your face. And I was freaking out because I just felt so embarrassed. I was like, oh my god, like I have writing on my face.
And there was nothing.
On my face. But yeah, I can literally fall asleep anywhere. I love that.
I wish I could fall asleep anywhere.
I even fall asleep sometimes with my eyes open at work.
That's not good.
I know.
Hopefully none of your coworkers are listening.
Like for like 2 minutes, like just to give my brain a rest, you know?
Your brain just like the Windows notification sound, you know,
shutting down.
Yeah, shutting down for a second. I am a huge Grey's Anatomy fan, so shout out. I've been trying to get Angelica to watch it, but she won't do it.
You know, that's actually really funny because my friend Michael, who I went to go visit in Texas, she said, I know we talk every once in a while, but I couldn't be me anymore if anything happened to you. Quoting Grey's Anatomy, you are my person.
Yep.
And then I said, Kelsey keeps telling me to watch that show. And she said, I love the show, but IDK, if I'd recommend it, it hurts too much.
No, you could watch it.
I can't keep crying, okay?
No, but it's other people's problems you're crying about.
Okay.
And okay, so I've recently rewatched it. Since I've been telling you to watch it, it made me rewatch it. I'm at the last season now, which is 19 seasons.
What the fuck? Why?
And I want to start over.
Why?
It's that addictive.
Why does your brain not crave something new? That's a trauma response.
It is. It's comfort. It really is. Like, but honestly, I was thinking about it the other day when I was at home and I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and I was thinking to myself, like, this has been my self-care lately, is like watching my favorite, like my top favorite show and just relaxing in the living room and chilling with Cash. Like, that's like my self-care, is like watching my favorite show over and over again. Now, granted, I had not rewatched it since before I had Cash, so it's been a while since I've rewatched it.
Okay, my favorite show is How I Met Your Mother, and I still have only seen that maybe 3 times max each episode.
I've seen every... Well, you know, they keep coming out with new episodes, so not every episode I've seen the same amount of times because, you know, when I first started watching it, they probably had 8 seasons, and that was in 2014 when I first started watching it.
Jesus.
But I've rewatched it, if I had to guess, 20 plus times. Yeah. It's that good. Angelica, you would love it. I'm telling you. If you think Angelica would love Grey's Anatomy, leave it in the comments below.
Yeah, let's take a vote. Convince me.
Mm-hmm. I be like literally at home.
IPS education.
Literally at home. And there's a scene on Grey's Anatomy that's like really hitting hard, and I'm like, oh, Angelica would love this scene right now.
But
oh my god.
Why?
Because you like dramas, right?
I love it.
Okay, it's one of the most drama-filled shows on television.
It started off in 2005.
And there's a reason why they have 19 and about to start the 20th season, because they're that good. Now, granted, I will say I'm not a big fan of the most recent seasons. I much more prefer the older seasons, but they're still good. They're still action-packed, drama-packed. It's on Netflix. Very easy to watch.
It's on Netflix? It says Hulu.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. The newest season's on Hulu.
It's so cool.
I love when people pull memories out of my brain from when I was a child that I didn't know I still had.
Yep. And I looked up and saw outside the window. I could have sworn I saw something flying in the sky, and I thought it was Santa.
That's so cool.
And that was the best Christmas I've ever had.
That's good. That makes sense, because we've talked about like my magical Christmas, like childhood. And I told Travis, like, I want to recreate that magic for Cash, and I think he would appreciate that. I appreciate it. Like,
well, after that, I knew Santa wasn't real, so I only had like
you only had a little bit of appreciation.
Yep.
You only had a little bit of appreciation. All right, my next one is my ideal home would be on some big land, like a farm, but not with animals, just big land, but close enough to the suburbs. And I think we've talked about that a little bit before. I would love to just be on, I want to be far enough from my neighbor that I can't hear them cut the grass.
Damn.
Basically. Or at least like it wouldn't wake me up to hear them cutting the grass, I guess, is what I would say. But still close enough that the grocery store is only 15-20 minutes away. I don't want to be too far from a grocery store or a gas station, or a fire department. So
that'd be nice.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
It is. It really is.
That's the Indiana dream.
Oh yeah. one day, hopefully.
I went to Disney World for the first time when I was 24.
Yes, I do.
And I remember telling my coworkers I was going to Disney. They're like, and I told them it was my first time. Like, you've never been to Disney? Oh my god, I've taken my kids there like once a year at least. And I'm like,
do you want me to make you feel bad right now? Because I will.
I was like, poor.
Yeah, literally. That's her privilege speaking.
Like, yeah, this is my first time.
Yeah. My next one is I am most passionate about mental health, which we know. And generally the fact that people are just out here not understanding themselves or their loved ones, and it makes parts of life really painful when it does not need to be.
Amen.
I think that's kind of the basis of why I talk to people about their mental health and like what might be going on with them. Because I feel like, and I've told you this before, like I feel like sometimes people just need one little snippet that makes sense, that clicks in their brain, and they're like, oh, and then they can start thinking about life in a different way.
Yeah.
And about their own life. Yeah.
Twins run in my dad's side of the family. My grandma's sisters were twins. My mom had twins, and 3 of my cousins have twins.
Wow. That's a lot. You better watch out.
Hell no.
It's contagious.
I know. And the longer I wait too, the
higher the possibility of the egg splitting.
Yeah.
My next one is noises overstimulate me. So that could be too much noise at the same time, like the TV's on, the fan's on. Travis is watching TikTok on his phone. I'm watching something on my phone, and all those noises are happening, or Cash is whining, and all those noises are happening at the same time. It will literally send me into a rage, and that's a part of my ADHD, I think. Or it could be like if we turn up the TV to be able to listen to, like, be able to hear a movie or something or a show, and then something really annoying starts happening in the show, like somebody's screaming for someone else, and they're like, hey, over and over again.
Yeah.
I will throw a brick at this TV right now if you don't shut the fuck up. Like, that's how I feel. I am so angry when that happens. I can't even.
Kelsey.
Or like if I fall asleep with the TV on and something like that happens while I'm asleep and it wakes me up, I am so fucking pissed off at whatever show that is. I'm like, I'll turn the TV off and not watch that show for a year after that, because I'm like, you motherfucker woke me up.
That'll show them.
That'll show them not to
getting
put
your views.
annoying shit in their shows.
That'll show them.
That might wake me up while I leave the TV on while I sleep.
Damn, we lost Kelsey.
Oh, I've always told Travis, like, whenever we go to bed, like, he wants to play a movie, like a horror movie or an action movie, and I always tell him, no horror, no action. And the reason why is because
no horror, no action.
Not because I don't want to be scared, but because I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night from either gunshots or screaming coming from the TV. It's going to wake me up. Now, he sleeps like a fucking rock. He's not going to wake up, but I will. So I always tell him, like, no, you need to put it on a comedy or something else, not horror or comedy. Nothing with gunshots. Is it my turn? I don't remember.
You just went.
Oh, I don't remember who's.
You were talking about noise.
Oh, I thought you said the next one. Go ahead.
Right?
Yeah. Don't read it.
Oh,
next one.
Don't read it.
Don't read it yet. It's your turn.
A lot of you people. You people.
You people that listen to our podcast.
A lot of people may not know that Bolin was actually originally my sister's dog, and I rescued him from her. Wow. I mean, yes and no.
I mean, you know.
I mean, she
apparently
she dropped him off at my parents' house.
You gotta stop touching it.
He was dropped off.
The top one.
He was dropped off at my parents' house, and I was trying so hard not to get attached because
but she did.
You know,
just taking him on walks every day,
and he just we just connected. That's my baby. And then when we got the house, he came with it.
My next one is, I am instantly turned off by anyone's personality once they display an unwarranted attitude or are unkind to someone. Like, literally, in my mind after that, and this is probably pretty bad of me.
I was gonna say, yeah, like, that's kind of...
It's kind of toxic of me, but immediately I'm like, you're a bad person. Like, you're somebody I don't want to be affiliated with. Yeah.
It's
not that hard to be kind to people. It's not that hard to not be rude to people. Like, I do it every day. Not be rude and be very kind to people. It's not that hard. So I just don't give a lot of
grace
for people who do that, because I don't understand when people want to hurt other people.
I wish I was more like that. I give way too many chances. I'm like, well, maybe they're having a bad day.
No, don't get that confused. I am a people pleaser, so I may not be to your face like, fuck you, but I'm gonna be like, well, I'm gonna keep my distance from that person because fuck them. You know what I mean? To myself. All right, next one. 18? We're almost done, guys. 18.
Which is really 36.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my mom and aunt told me I was actually my aunt's kid, and she had me when she was very young. So she handed her off. She handed me off to my mom. And as a preteen, I got into an argument with my mom and told her I wanted to go back to my real mom.
But this was obviously a joke, right?
Well, that's when I found out they were joking.
They thought did they just think
I was
that
a
you
fucking
knew?
Preteen. They just because
they just assumed you thought that they were joking.
Well, because I'm like, no, that's not.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. And of course, Maria didn't help. She'd be like, no, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, of course.
That mom's not your real mom. And I'd be like, but there's so many pictures. And she'd be like, well, they wanted to keep it a secret. And then as a preteen, I forgot what happened, but I was so mad. I was like, take me to my real mom.
If that didn't reinforce your middle child syndrome and like not getting attention and like feeling a part of the family, they literally
told me that. And like really my aunt was in on it too. I really thought I was her child.
That's really fucked up.
Take me back to my real mom. and then my mom goes, actually, I am your real mom.
You dumbass.
I'd be like, no!
There's no escaping you.
Yeah.
My next one is, I dropped out of college at the end of my second semester. I was not happy with my major, and not a single ounce of my tuition was being paid by a scholarship or a grant. It was all being paid by loans. And because I didn't like my major, that scared me. And I was like, I don't want to keep doing this and building up debt if I don't even know what I want to do or who I want to be.
What was your major?
CIT, which is computer information technology.
Oh, yeah.
So it would have led me into an IT career of some sort. It was very male dominated, of course, probably still is. And yeah, I didn't like it. I'm very computer savvy, but I just didn't want to learn all the back end stuff. Like, I just want to be a user, not a technician. So I'll be a computer user. So, yep.
Good.
And I never went back. Now I'm pharmacy technician, administrative assistant.
Amen.
That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do.
Slams.
Now, I do think
college isn't for everyone.
I do wish that I would have known, like, a little bit sooner what I really wanted to do, because then I could have taken more vocational training and done something like that rather than feeling like I needed to figure out what to go back to college for. Because I did try to go back to college a couple times, but I didn't. But yeah. Anyway, next one.
My favorite movie is Corpse Bride. I have her tattooed on my back.
She does. I can attest to that. And we have some Corpse Bride stuff in here. I don't know if you can see behind us. There's one. There's a blanket that I've worn on a couple episodes. That I've covered myself with.
I have 2 pillows. I got some pop dolls or pop figurines and like 2 pictures on the wall.
Yep.
Is that it? I got like shirts? A sweater, a couple of shirts. I'm sure I have more. I can't think of any, but that's my shit.
My next one is I love wearing glasses, even though I do not have a prescription and have close to perfect vision.
Oh my God, you did that a lot in high school. You still do that? I've never seen you wear glasses.
I haven't done it a lot recently because people criticize me for doing it, even though it's just for fashion.
How big of an insult that is to glasses wearers? Oh my God.
Why can't it be an accessory?
Because I need it. It's not an accessory when you need it.
Well, then they shouldn't make them without prescriptions.
Are wheelchairs an accessory?
That's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm trying to think of an equivalent.
You're so rude.
I'm trying to think of an equivalent on my end.
Is an arm brace? Is a neck brace an accessory?
Kanye West probably done it by now.
You're not Kanye West.
You're not Kanye West. Thank you
Are
for telling me
braces
that.
an accessory when you have perfect teeth?
No, but they do look cool.
Oh my God. Stop this woman right now.
And that's why I haven't done it in a long time, because of this criticism right here.
I'm just saying.
But if nobody knew that I have perfect vision, no one would know.
You just told 40 people. How do you feel?
40 people.
Dumb. Just kidding. Oh my God. Okay. Right. My last one is I bought my house a year ago.
Oh, yeah. You've been in the house 1 year.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's cool.
Very cool.
You have good neighbors, too.
I have great neighbors. I love my house.
Shout out to her neighbors if you're listening.
Yeah.
All right. My last one is I prefer my food wet.
What a weird thing to end on, Kelsey.
No, I know.
I can't.
Is it hurting your brain? Yeah. Would you like me to explain?
Actually, hang on a minute. Hang on. So I'm trying to think what food is dry.
I'll explain.
Okay, please.
So pretty much every food I eat, it needs to be juicy or dipped in something. Like, okay, plain chips. I don't really care for plain chips. Like, I want to dip it in something. Or chicken tenders. Like, I need to have a dip for chicken tenders. For like, say I'm having a sandwich with some kind of meat on it. Chicken sandwich, it needs to be juicy. Hamburger needs to be juicy. A steak needs to be juicy. Like, it cannot be dry. A sub sandwich needs to have some kind of condiment on it. The sandwiches I just named need to have condiments on them, and enough condiments. Potatoes need to have a shitload of gravy on them, or a shitload of sour cream.
Okay.
Okay. And my husband is the exact opposite. He would prefer a sandwich to be completely dry without condiments. He can eat chicken without dipping it in anything. He can eat chicken sandwich, cheeseburger, plain without condiments. Recently, I've gotten him a little bit more into condiments, but Yeah. Like tacos without sour cream.
I guess if I had to choose dry or wet, I would choose wet, but it's not something I've thought about. Kelsey.
Well, it actually came up recently when you asked me about potatoes.
Okay, but do you know what I'm talking about? Mashed potatoes with butter on the top.
Yeah, I do. Most of the like packages of pre-packed potatoes.
Kelsey.
I'm trying to talk too fast. Pre-packed potatoes, if you look at a picture of them, it's mashed potatoes with melted butter on top.
I've never had mashed potatoes with butter on top. Never.
Okay. Why not?
I never knew that was a thing.
Just get potatoes and do it.
I've always just put gravy on it. I never knew.
I would much prefer just gravy.
Wait,
or
you
loaded
said...
mashed potatoes.
Okay, you said what now?
Look up Bob Evans mashed potatoes. All right.
We're almost done.
So, are you guys a wet food person or a dry food person? You let us know in the comments below.
Let us know your condiments.
Do you like your food wet or do you like your food dry?
That's where we're ending it at.
I'm going to make a clip.
Tell us a fun fact about you.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yes.
And we're going to have a poll and we're going to ask you for your fun fact.
Yes.
And we'll probably repost.
And just try to ignore Boleyn.
And good night.
Bye.
Goodbye.